So thank you, Dr. Fike, for inviting us to present. I'm trying to get it to go to the display. But what we're going to talk about is the fiber production. This has been something that we have been working on for the past 3 years, and we finally seem to have some of the kinks worked out, and actually are processing fiber for are processing hemp for fiber and hurd as we speak. We have 2 consumers in North Carolina for our fiber, and we have numerous consumers for the hurd. We ran into several challenges. We've ran into both the growing, the COVID, the different varieties. So we're going to talk a little bit about, like he said, what Jake has grown and what we've experienced in growing, as well as the processing, what the limitations are with processing hemp for fiber, as well as the difficulty we have run across in the volume. I laugh with my brother and tell him it's like we're trying to haul feathers, because there's very low weight, but a lot of size that comes from the production or the decortication of hemp. This is why we shouldn't work all day and try to do things in the last minute. So I'll just basically go from memory. What we're going to talk about is the constraints that we've run across with processing hemp for fiber. The first year, it was the availability of transport. Hemp is just like round bales. So when you're hauling round bales, it's not the amount of the weight, it has to do more with the size. So you can only haul 24 round bales at a time when you are hauling them out on a flatbed trailer most of the time. So maybe it's going to let me share. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do too many things. So in our, we'll just do it this way until it decides to work. So in our first picture, this is where we were sod drilling. The second picture is actually of a Ukraine variety, and it actually did very well. So we have also grown the Ukraine variety as well as a Chinese variety, and we actually grew a variety out of Oregon. And what we have been the most pleased with is the variety out of Ukraine. And as you can see, it is a very robust crop. This year, this was the 2019 year, we actually were able to get 2 crops within a 6-month period of time. So this variety actually matured in less than 90 days, and we had time to get a second crop in before the season was over here in Wythe County. And then we just used our regular hay equipment to bale it, and then hauled it out of the fields locally. So when we're processing, we go from the round bale form to the bass fiber to the hurd. And then we ran into the fact that 1 round bale turned into at least 2 of these bales of fiber plus 2 boxes of the hurd. So then we had to purchase a bagging system to compress this down to manageable forms so that we could palletize it and handle the shipping costs for export. So our challenges happened to be with the farmers. They were afraid to grow. They had bad experiences with oil. They weren't getting paid for what they grew in the past. And then the COVID constraints happened, and our seeds that were being imported were delayed due to the dock. It actually had to stay on the ocean an extra 28 days, and we were late getting our seed. We've ran into some issues also with the cultivars. The different varieties do not all like Virginia. They do not all like Wythe County soil. So what we have found in our area may not be specific to Northern Virginia. So that's something that we're learning as we go. But as I said, at this point, we are the most pleased with both the Chinese and the Ukraine varieties. We actually grew a Poland variety this year as well. It germinated well, but it just didn't provide the yields that we had anticipated. So what we have also found is the transportation expense. Cost prohibits transportation much further than about 2 hours. So as we have moved forward, we have learned some of these marketing strategies. We've learned that what people are looking for. There's a lot of contacts that we get regarding this building material. People want the hurd. They want the R factor that's associated with it. We have farms from all over that are asking for the hurd for animal bedding. But we've also have some people that are very interested in the paper, excuse me, as well as the textiles. So as we move forward, supply and demand, we have availability right now to supply probably, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 ton, but I don't know that that's going to supply our demand. So these were some slides that we've had, and I just wanted to point out that even though a lot of people are focusing on the oil right now, there is a lot of market for textile. There was over $688 million spent importing the hurd and bast fiber necessary for textile. So what we have found, and we've worked with VDAC quite a bit about this, there needs to be these strategically placed processing facilities. We are in Wythe County, so we're in the center of our area, but there needs to be a processing facility scattered throughout Virginia just to provide the farmers with an access point to get the crop to the market. Our particular processing facility is pretty cut and dry. I mean, it is simple agriculture. We unroll a bale, we go through the decorticator, we separate it, we bag it, and then we truck it back out. I tell people, if you're a good farmer, you're able to make hay, you're able to grow hemp. You're going to use the materials and the properties that you already own. You can put 25 acres on the back side of your farm, use it for 90 days for growing this fiber crop, and then you can turn your cattle back in. You can go back to using the field for the rest of the year. So we want you to think of it as adjunctive income for your existing farming process. So we don't want you to have a lot of upfront costs. We don't want you to have a lot of extra expenses. We don't need you to buy extra equipment. We don't need a lot of manual labor. I met a farmer in Nebraska. Actually, I think he was North Dakota, actually. And he said that his hemp field is his favorite field on the farm, that he plants 50 acres in a day. He fertilizes it, he locks the gate, and he goes back in 90 days and harvests. He said this field has always made $45,000 to $50,000, and he works for 3 days. Now, granted, the land is working, but his physical responsibilities are only necessary for like 3, maybe 5 days, depending on how long it takes to get the crop up. So again, we want you to do what you're good at. We want the farmers to be comfortable growing fiber, and we need to strategically place these processing facilities so that we can have the market available for the entire state of Virginia. So we do know that this is an agriculture principle. It is the fundamentals of the Farm Bill Act of 2018, but we want people to be comfortable with it. There's no abuse potential. There's no human consumption. We don't have the issues with the crop becoming hot. We're going to destroy it. There's not as many risks as we have run across with people that are trying to grow hemp just for the oil. And the labor is so much less involved at the agriculture level, at the farmer's level, for growing hemp for fiber. Now, we're going to put forth a lot of work at the corticating level, but again, if these are strategically placed through Virginia, then again, the farmers in that entire region are going to have a place to go so that their crop can get from the field to the consumers.